Hey Bloom fam, I'm Tae.
I'm Tash.
And we are Living the Bloom. We are excited for a new year. It's 2025.
Oh, child, I hope it's better than last year. I hope it's better than last year.
I hope it's better than last year.
I ain't trying to be a soldier. I just want to live.
I need that for you, sis. I need that for you. She said, I'm just trying to live.
Just trying to live.
Girl, so we are in a new space.
Yeah.
I love this space.
I think this is so cute.
It is super cute. It feels warm and inviting and demure. So cute. What you sitting on? Mind your business.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about money. Money. I don't know why.
So you were telling me you was talking to the hubs about,
yes,
y'all start the year off with some financial planning.
Yeah, we start every year having a meeting with each other just to talk about, like, what are our financial goals for the year? Do we feel like we did good last year? Did we overspend? Did we stick to what we said we were going to spend? And last year, we did not stick to the plan at all. Like, we just didn't stick to the plan. We did really, really good in the first, 4 months. And then it went downhill. It was like, oh, it's in the account. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, you want to go to the game? Sure, we can do that. You want to go to the concert? Of course.
Just put it in the bag.
Hey. So we ain't trying to put it in the bag no more. we trying to make it. So we were talking about, just what it is that we can do to curb expenses and really just focus on stacking our money. Our daughter is going to college in a few years, and we have money for her, but just making sure that we're equipped, to handle that and the transition for her in a couple years. And also there's investments that we want to do. And so we just want to be secure. And we have a little bit of work to do. So one of the first things is our cars. This is the first time we've ever had 3 car notes
at the same time.
At the same time. We went years without a car note at all. And we were stacking the money. And now we have had 3 car notes for the past 2.5 years. And I'm like, why?
And it's interesting because car notes, that's one of the reasons that a lot of people can't save, because we drive in something we can't afford sometimes. And if you think about, even if you just reduce one of your car notes, the money that you can save just from that and do something different with.
Yeah. I said, we taking it back. He was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Look, take it back.
Said,
take it back.
So we're going to take it back. But that alone, is a good little cushion.
Absolutely.
Over 6 months, right? So one of the things that's a challenge for Black women in particular is we invest at lower rates. We don't have as much money saved. I heard this gentleman online talking about the 400 richest white people. Their cumulative wealth is greater than the 41 million Black people in America. That makes no sense.
Right. Another thing I was, shout out to my cousin Tyler. We were going through insurance policies because I'm trying to get that all lined up. Because, again, losing a loved one makes you reassess and rethink. So I had came across an article from, I think it was UPenn, and it was basically saying that excluding the top 1% of America, only 70% of Americans get an inheritance.
Yeah.
And the average amount of this inheritance for white Americans is $15,000, and that's 5 times more than Black people. So you're talking about $3,000, and then but the funeral costs.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's even
that's over $10,000 right there.
Right, just for the funeral a lot of times. So it's we're not even in positions where we can even leave stuff to our kids in most cases.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, so. Yeah, we got to figure out in 2025 what we can do different.
So one of the things that we want to do over the next several weeks, right, is talk to you, our Bloom fam, about how to enhance your financial acumen, how to increase your just your bank accounts, how to invest, things that will help us progress financially. And so today we'll talk about about 5 reasons why.
4 to 5 reasons, depending, but because some other reasons may be in the same category.
Yeah.
But basically, we're talking about why it's important for people of color to invest.
Yep. First of all, knowledge.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
And if you have the financial literacy to make informed decisions, that's really the beginning of it all, right? It's like it opens up that third eye.
Yeah, it does. So I had a call the other day from a lady whose child goes to the same school as my son. And she said, can you send me some information? We were talking about investing a few weeks ago when we were at a PTO event. And she said, can you send me some information about investing? And I said, well, that's a loaded question. Give me a call, because we need to talk about what your goals are. We need to talk about what your risk tolerance is. Do you want something safe? Do you want to be a little riskier? I can send you a lot of information, but I need to better understand what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And what's the time commitment? How much are you going to read and learn and grow? And so I'm looking forward to talking to her about that conversation, just to see what she needs.
Yeah.
But it was a light for me that I was able to share information that she felt was helpful, and came back and said, I really want to know more about it. That's good. She's saying, I want the knowledge to learn what it is that I need to do to step my money up.
Right. And it's the small steps, like just what you and your husband did, looking at your statements and figuring out, what am I spending money on?
Food,
going out is,
that's all I spend.
A lot of money goes towards eating in restaurants. I'm trying to reduce this belly in 2025, so hopefully I don't need to go eat out as much.
But you've been doing good with your carb intake, your sugar intake.
Girl, I've been doing good. I think this wine is the first time I had wine in 2 weeks. I've been reducing my sugar. I ain't say I was drinking it right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying when I had it today, it was the first time I had it. But stretching even like hair appointments, stretching, getting our nails done. Yeah. Those are ways that we can find money and eliminate things that are not necessary, because you can come up with a quick $200 just from doing that.
Yeah. And your line sister does a really good job of doing her own nails.
Shout out to Mel. She gave me a lesson on doing my nails with the gel polish. I didn't do it today, but I did it last week, and I went a whole week and a half without having to do my nails done. But at one time she was cutting her hair. She does her own lashes. She does her own nails, and it looks like she went to the salon. So I'm like, that's the life I need to live right now.
Yeah.
And it's not forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to live without indulgences forever.
Right.
It's just temporarily.
It's the temporary sacrifice you're willing to make to get to where you want to be.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we have to get to the point to where we learn how to handle our money, and get out of debt. Like, we can't do anything else. Yeah. We can't take it to the next level if we still in debt.
I agree.
So, yeah, knowledge is key.
Knowledge is power.
So the thing is, though, once you have the knowledge, then you can start your true wealth building process.
Right.
So what's crazy is 49% of Black women don't have a retirement savings. Like 1, 2, bitch. One of us ain't saving. One of us ain't saving.
Which one is it, sis?
It ain't me.
It ain't me, but thankfully. But yeah, 1 in every 2. That is a big issue, and it's from lack of knowledge, right? Some people don't have the means,
right? And
they need to figure out, okay, how do I get a side hustle, or how do I earn additional income? Do I need to get a second job? Do I need to adjust my spending? Even a little bit goes a long way, but that's a big gap.
It's a big gap.
That's a big gap.
It's a big gap. And the thing is, we can't let the government dictate. Like, some of us think, oh, Social Security gonna be there. Boo, don't look. I'm convinced that it's not there right now.
I don't trust them for the day-to-day stuff. You think I'm gonna trust them with the future
that
stuff?
Part.
Not at all.
That part. Yeah.
Open an account. any type of account, your Social Security may not come through.
It may not come through. So we can't depend on Social Security, you know. And then it's also the mindset. So we need to have a wealth building mindset, meaning we need to teach we have to learn how to handle money, and then we have to teach our kids how to handle money. Because even if you do leave them something, they need to know what to do with it.
It may be gone.
Yeah. Right. It really may be gone if we don't teach them a true wealth building mindset.
So what do you think the ideal amount of money is that you would want to have?
I think it depends on, I don't know that it's a set amount. I think it really depends on lifestyle. Like, I want to teach my child that you don't have to have the biggest house. The key is to have a nice house. Yep. The key is least expensive. Like, have a nice paid off house.
Yeah.
Be able to use your money to enjoy life. And I could say, yes, I want to have $10 million, but the reality is I really want my child to be able to live off 3 or 4 million. By the time he's 20 or 21, it might be inflation could be through the roof. So maybe 3 million is 6 million, but I want him to be comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know putting a number on it. I want him to know I want him to have a good money managing mindset. Because it's people that's making 75,000 that's living more comfortable than somebody that's making 200,000. Because the more you make, the more you tend to spend and buy. You guilty, sis? So
that is me. It won't be me in 2025.
So I really want, I guess it goes back to having the mindset. Right. You know, right. I really want to teach him the value of money.
I agree.
Do you have a dollar amount that you would say, yep, this is what I'm shooting for?
Yes. I would like to have $5 million.
That's a good number.
Now, I can have more than that. That would be amazing. But I think if I had $5 million, I would feel very comfortable just living life.
Yeah. Yeah. 5 million is a good number. Yeah. I think the other thing that's key to mention is matching your employer's 401k because that's free money.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad did taxes for many years and he would tell me, he'd be like, boo, make sure you invest in giving money towards your 401k, because he would have clients that were teachers, you know, just normal everyday jobs. And all they did was consistently put into their retirement account. And by the time that they got ready to retire, they had
a good amount of money. Yeah. So it was crazy to me because at my former employer, they had a match program, and I do at my current employer. And there was a woman who had worked at my old company for, I don't know, at least over 10 years. And she was talking to my mom and said that she did not put into that at all. And I'm like, they're matching you. If you put in 6%, they're matching you at 7%. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you're missing out on a whole 7% of your income.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm maxing everything out. How much? Like, I'm maxing it out, but at least do the minimum.
At least do the minimum.
Doing nothing.
And sometimes people don't know, or it's like when you start working. See, I wish I would have been more diligent when I first started working to do it, because if you don't see it, you don't miss it. It's harder to, like, if you see it and then a portion of it is gone, you have to adjust. But what I'm doing now is when I get a raise, I'm trying to just, whatever the amount my raise is, just contribute that whole amount till I get to the point of maxing out.
Right.
Because, again, if I don't see it.
Yeah, you don't miss it.
I don't miss it.
No.
So.
And I was tempted the other day to adjust. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have to put that much in. And I was like, no.
Yeah, no, do it.
Here every 2 weeks.
Absolutely. So even if it's just $50, just start somewhere, especially if your employer matches, because you can't beat
put the minimum in for the match. If you need to get rid of the cable bill, if you need to turn those lights off all during the day, you know, instead of keeping them on to reduce that expense, whatever it is you need to do, try to do that first before not before you miss out on the free money from your employer.
Yeah, because it's really that simple. Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't got to go figure out what to invest in. You don't got to figure out what business. You ain't got to figure out the next hustle. You ain't got to figure out the next big thing. All you got to do is put the money in and get the match. Like, that's.
So what about people that don't have a company that matches? They don't have a pension. They don't have a 401k. They don't have those avenues available to them. What if it's an entrepreneur? What would you tell?
I would tell them that they to get with the financial advisor that they trust. The trusted financial advisor, open up a Roth IRA, and start contributing money to that Roth IRA at whatever pace that they can. And they really, entrepreneurs really need to understand this, because there are tax advantages that they can take, that they can get by doing that. So that would be my 2 cents.
And I would say make it automatic, right? Send it out every time, every 2 weeks or every month. Send it out on the same day. Let it go directly to that account. So it's done. Yeah. It's done and done.
But sis, really, it's like the biggest reason for me, well, I'm not going to say the biggest. One of the reasons why I'm just so gung-ho about being in a financial situation where I'm comfortable and having extra money to do what I want to do is because when the opportunity comes your way to start a business or to invest in something, like, you can do it. Success is when opportunity meets preparation. And so if you've prepared your finances for the opportunity, when it comes, you're ready to jump on it.
Speak, sis. You got this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do this year.
That's what I'm trying to do too.
I'm trying to prepare for my opportunity.
I was reading, shout out to Earn Your Leisure. That's one of the podcasts that we check out a lot. I got the book, You Deserve to Be Rich.
Yes.
And in the beginning, they give you different characters in different situations, which I think is cool. So it's like 6 different characters that have a storyline. And somebody, it was like a guy, it was like he had an Audi and he traded in his Audi for a Toyota. And I'm like, but I like my Audi. And then I was like, should I be thinking about trading my Audi for a Toyota?
Am I wrong?
But it's sacrifices.
What you doing? What you decide to do?
Baby, I like my Audi. We'll see.
You gonna cut somewhere else?
So we have one car note is the point. Yeah. So I think we're good. His truck is paid off. So I think I'm okay to keep the Audi for now.
Keep the Audi.
But that's the thing. I just need to keep it and not trade it in for something.
Right.
Keep it.
You are good for.
Yeah, I don't keep cars long, girl. I was looking at.
He was like, "Daddy, can we go to Dallas and get me?"
And we did.
And you did. You did.
So yeah, but we keeping that, paying it off, being done with it, and no car notes for 2026 for sure. But yeah. And
so, what are you planning to teach your son about finances and saving? Are you planning to give him an allowance for the chores that he does and say, "Hey, you got to put $1 of that $10 away"? What's the plan?
So I probably will give him a small allowance, because a part of me feel like you're supposed to do chores. I don't need to pay you to do this, but it gives you some responsibility. But I do want to give him an allowance for probably doing some type of chores. And to your point, $1 needs to go towards investing and $1 goes towards saving. And then you need something for tithing too.
And what about Jesus? Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one. I like that one.
So at an early age, I want him to understand this ain't all your money. You're going to find out when them taxes hit that check. It ain't all your money.
Gone. It's a lot. Goes. I said, this is not fair.
It's not fair. Especially when you look at the federal taxes.
Yes, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I need to figure out what Donald Trump was doing to pay that $700 that he paid. Remember?
Who is CPA?
Yeah. Well, they go to jail. So
they do go to jail.
But
what we want you guys to remember as far as why it's important for us to invest is knowledge is power. We have to improve our situation on the wealth gap.
Yeah.
And really it's just about building wealth for our families to pass on. Having extra money gives us access to opportunities. And we're responsible for our own retirement. The government ain't nobody coming to save us. Ain't nobody coming to save us.
We will be by ourselves.
So if you have that employer match, check it out, get something started, understand what you need, what's the minimum you need to get the match, and try to and meet that and just build on it slowly. And if you're an entrepreneur, find a trusted financial planner. Get a RIA. I guess you don't need a financial planner to set up an RIA. You don't need. You can go to Fidelity.
Right. But it can help you figure out just the best avenues.
Right. The strategy. They can help you figure out the strategy that you need to use to start their journey.
And even if you don't want to do that, even if you feel like you're not ready to engage a financial advisor because you just don't know the questions to ask, or it's just not comfortable for you, you don't trust somebody with your money or giving you advice about it, at least find an interest-bearing account to put your money in.
Yes, a high-yield savings account.
A high-yield savings account, your checking account. I don't have my money in any account that does not bear interest. And the interest rates right now are really good. So at a minimum, if your money is sitting in an account that is not making any interest on it, that is the wrong account for it to be in.
And if it's in Bank of America or Wells Fargo, that one of those banks, then it probably is not bearing any interest. So check out your credit unions, do a search. I know Ally Bank, they were advertising 4%. I just opened up an account last week. They were advertising for 4%. By the time I got to it, it was 3.5%, but it changes. Yeah. So I think anywhere probably between 3 to 5% is probably the going rate.
I've had upwards of 4.5% in my Ally account. But yeah, it's good. And all I do is for that particular account, every time I get paid, money goes into that account
automatically.
And then I have money going into another account. So, it's interest bearing.
Yeah. Cause we're talking about like what 0.1% that like Wells Fargo and Bank of America compared to like 0.1% compared to 4%. That's a large difference.
It's a huge difference. So at a minimum, do that. Put it in an interest bearing account.
So Bloom fam, if you got some tips for us, easy investment strategies, let us know. Let's share the wealth.
Tell us what you're doing. All right. Bye.
Bye.